Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Rooted Lifestyle Podcast. We are your hosts, Camryn and Justus Woods.
I hope you guys have had a great summer so far, because we certainly have. Over the last few weeks, Camryn and I have been traveling, and it seems like it's become like a common thing for us to be traveling all the time, which is funny.
It's kind of been ridiculous recently.
Yeah,
like, we've gone everywhere.
A lot of traveling. I don't know what we had mentioned before, but more recently, I know I think we had mentioned that we went to Charleston like earlier in the summer, and then Camryn went to Lake Martin, and then afterwards, I went to Austin to visit some of my college friends.
Broke your toe.
Busted my toe. Went to Lake Travis, and then Camryn went home back to Charlotte for a few days.
And then we also went to Miramar Beach for the 4th of July.
For the 4th of July with some of our friends here, which was also super fun. So hopefully you guys are having a great summer as well. Staying cool, because it's definitely hot in Texas.
It is literally way too hot. I mean, needless to say, traveling is so fun, but also being home here is really, really fun besides the heat. Like, I walk outside and I'm miserable.
It's crazy because August hasn't even come yet, and that's the hottest part of the.
Yeah, it terrifies me.
That's the hottest part of the year, but
it actually terrifies me. It really does. Okay, so what are we talking about this week?
So this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the 5 things that we wish we knew before starting our health and fitness journey. We had asked on our Instagram some questions, or a question about what we should talk about. We received a number of answers. So this was one of the topics that we thought would be great to talk about based on what people have mentioned. So the 5 things that we wish we knew before starting our health and fitness journey. So a little bit of background about me, if you don't already know, but I played football at Stanford for 4 years, and before that I was definitely into sports, like, football, obviously, wrestling, track, lacrosse. So weightlifting and kind of the conditioning aspect was always something that was familiar to me. But obviously back then I didn't really care about my diet. I was more so just like eating to eat, and whatever I ate it was fine, because I knew I was working out, and I didn't really care what the food did to me internally, and just more so cared about like working out, the typical like young boy thing. So it wasn't until sophomore, junior year of college that I really got into healthy foods, thanks to Camryn doing the Whole30. But that's kind of a little bit of background about me, if you don't already know.
And now it's like your life.
And now I'm obsessed with it.
Yes. So for me growing up, I mean, I played sports, like I tried soccer, softball, gymnastics, cheerleading, all of the things. I only continued cheerleading into high school, but needless to say, like, they tried to get the cheerleaders in the gym, and I think we lifted like 3 times. No one was having it. No one liked it. It just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
I feel like now the generation's younger, it's kind of more of a thing to start weightlifting when you're younger. But anyways,
it is really weird now. I was mentioning this with my friends, that like how, when we played sports or like did PE class and stuff.
Oh my gosh,
a lot
PE
of
class.
the weightlifting and stuff came supplementary to the sports and stuff that we played. And I mean, I remember I didn't even lift weight until sophomore year of high school. Like, we weren't even allowed to do it. But now, thanks to TikTok, Instagram, all this stuff, like, people have begun, which is, I mean, is a good thing, I guess, to a degree of like, there's an age limit that I think that it could potentially stunt your growth. But
there's like research around it. Like, you're not supposed to lift weights at a certain age.
Yeah, but kids now are like, they just want to become fitness people and lift and kind of do running and stuff, which is awesome. But, it's just kind of a weird shift between like how people our age, growing up, it was kind of just a side thing that you had to do in order to play your sport and stuff.
Like, older generations think we're crazy because they're like, why do you guys work out so much? And we're like, well, we love it.
Yeah.
Anyways, bringing back to that. So like, I didn't really weightlift until I would say around college, like after COVID a little bit, once I healed from my foot surgery.
Yeah.
Because I definitely wasn't lifting after that.
We did a lot of COVID workouts together.
So that was fun. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. Like, we went to a gym in Charlotte that we had access to that like no one else was going to because of COVID, but we were able to go. And so that was fun to just like do it with Justus. I think that was really sweet. And then I was like, this is a great activity for us to do together. But also I think that I'm liking it myself because I'm growing stronger. I'm actually seeing maybe some definition. So once I got back to college and it was more normal, I would go to the gym by myself, or I go to like cycling classes. I would take strength classes with my friends. So it's definitely a social thing that I enjoyed doing, but I definitely will go to the gym by myself and definitely enjoy it. So I got my certified personal training certification 2 years ago, coming up on 2 years.
That's crazy.
Insane.
That's 2 years. Wow. Congratulations.
Oh my gosh. Thanks, honey. So I got my certification about 2 years ago, and I teach at 2 different studios, group fitness training with weights, which is really fun for me. I love meeting people and I love sharing my love for fitness. So I would definitely say with food though, like Justus mentioned before, like I've done the Whole30. I've kind of grown up in a family that has been surrounded by like thyroid, autoimmune issues. So we're definitely more sensitive to food than like your average Joe who like can eat whatever they want. So I've grown up in like a gluten-free house. For the past 10 years, I would say we've only been like gluten-free for 10-ish years or so. And then we definitely care more about what we eat than we like ever have. Because just new studies are coming out of like how the FDA allows things here that like aren't allowed in Europe and all of this insane stuff. But I would definitely say the drive for weights, Justus has pushed me into, and then the drive for eating healthy and taking care of my body internally and externally would be more like my family dynamic, which I'm very appreciative of because I know that a lot of people don't have that option.
Yeah,
to be demonstrated for them.
Your family's like super knowledgeable. Even your mom is very knowledgeable about that stuff too, just because, you know, your family has dealt with that in the past and currently, but it's really cool to see. And it's a lot of really interesting, awesome information that it's like a whole new world that opens up to you. And it's a cool opportunity to get to like continue to grow because obviously health and fitness is something that's always changing, always evolving. People are finding new studies, new things. So it's always cool to kind of dig into that a little bit deeper.
It's been really cool to be able to see like Justus bringing the weightlifting and onto me and into my life, and then I've been bringing like the health food, internal fitness, wellness into his life. Like it's cool to see each other balance us out like that.
Yeah, no, we definitely balance each other out.
I love it.
Cool. So let's get into it. So the first thing that we wish we knew, or the first thing that we wish we would have told ourselves, that basically health is simple. This seems like a very generic statement, but it's very true, especially nowadays. As we mentioned, there's always new information, new studies
it can
coming
be
out there.
There's a lot of information.
It can be very, very overwhelming. And if you don't know a lot about it, it can seem counterintuitive or contradictory because more often than not, and this is honestly with anything, if you Google something, you could always find like a pro for both sides.
Oh, example. I literally gave this example today at work. I was like, I could research that veganism is good for you. And then I could find research that veganism is bad for you. Like it literally doesn't matter. You can find whatever you want on the internet.
Exactly.
So from that standpoint, yes, health is like so not simple, so much information out there. I'm stressed. But the first thing we would tell ourselves is that health actually is simple.
Yeah. And so, you know, there's all this information out there. It's like, take this supplement, take that supplement.
Yeah. Not
saying supplements and all this other extra stuff is bad. I mean, we take supplements and they can do a lot of good and they help to enhance. But I'm more so saying that, you know, the foundation of your health is very simple.
Right. So like eating.
Yeah.
Eating can be simple. Stick to whole foods. The easiest thing would be to go for the processed foods, but they're not going to fill you up. They're not cooked with good ingredients. And so stick to simple things. Fruits, vegetables, carbs, fats. I mean, it really can be simple. It might be boring, but you can get creative with it. If you actually care enough, look up fun recipes to try. Pick a new recipe every week or a couple times a week. And it can be so fun to do with a significant other, with your family, with your friends, by yourself. Like truthfully, simple cooking and making food is easy. Like recently you've gotten on the grill like so much because we've been eating a lot of meat recently. And just like tons and tons of stuff that you're grilling on the grill, which is really fun. So that's simple. It's a simple way to do it.
Yeah. And I think, you know, part of that, I feel like a lot of the time now, and because health and fitness is kind of becoming more of a fad now, you know, people are coming out with these new things like, oh, if you take this, you know, you'll lose weight. You take this, you'll build muscle and stuff. And then you put your whole entire diet and everything else that you eat by the wayside. But it's like, okay, I'm taking these pills, I'm taking these medication, I'm taking these supplements, but it doesn't seem to be working. So,
or it'll work for a period of time.
Yeah,
and it
exactly.
won't fulfill you for life.
So you need to understand that like it's the foundation that's important, and the foundation can be simple, like we said, like simple, healthy, one ingredient foods.
Absolutely. And so going off of that, I mean, just stick to the basics in the sense of drink water. I know people who literally do not drink water and I'm like, what is going on? That's insane. So drinking water, eating healthy foods, getting in steps. I feel like that's a huge thing now. People have walking pads for their desks. People are trying to get more active because we know we're not supposed to be seated from 9 to 5 every single day of our lives. Like we need to be more active. We need to try to navigate a way to get more movement in during the day. So getting those 10K steps, go for a 30-minute walk, go for a 10-minute walk after your meals, before your meals, or even when you go to the gym and you want to work out, you don't have to work out every single day. Weightlift 2 to 3 times a day and then go on a walk the other days. Like it truly can be so simple, especially when you're starting out. And honestly, when you're starting out, the first thing to get past is truly doing it and sticking with it.
Yeah.
But you can do it in simple ways, just like we said. So obviously Justice and I don't stick to like the simplicity technically. Food wise, I would say we do. We stick to the simple foods, whole foods, protein, fats, carbs, and vegetables. But for working out, we definitely work out every single day just because we enjoy it. Like it is truly a social outlet for us. It's fun to do together. We've just found so much enjoyment.
And this is not something that we did, the first time we started, working out and stuff. We weren't doing 2-a-days. We weren't doing all this stuff. We weren't doing working out as many times. It's like, it's about establishing and building a foundation. And it's not even all this stuff that we're actually doing. Like we enjoy it. It's a social element for us. And so it's not necessary to build muscle and to reach your goals or to lose fat. But yeah, I would say start super simple and grow from there. Establishing a baseline of eating, an eating lifestyle, like we said before, of like, we're always big proponents of, or advocates of, having a lifestyle diet and not like a diet where you kind of go super extreme and then you
for like a week
and then you fall by the wayside the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Pick something that a lifestyle that you can maintain and a regimen that you can maintain.
Right.
And then slowly add more movements based upon what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're just going to get burnt out by all the information and studies done, because just like with food and stuff, like exercise, there's so many different studies out there about the optimal workout splits, this and that. And it's like, you can make it very simple.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's the first pillar. Health is simple, can be simple, and just stick true to the simple facts. The second one is that your health and fitness journey is personal. It is personal to each and every person. Like my journey and Justice's journey have looked very different. And right now, sure, we're coming to like kind of the same-ish scenario of like our health and fitness journey, but it still looked different up until this point. And that's because we live together and we enjoy doing it together.
Yeah.
But with that being said, do not compare yourself to what you're seeing online or what you're hearing your friends talk about. You could try those things. And if you're like, oh, not for me, then switch to something else to really find what works for you. I think that, like you were saying with social media, it's great to be inspired. Like, oh, I would love to start lifting weights, getting stronger, blah, 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 blah. But what worked for them may not work for you. And so I think that that's one of the toxic traits about like the gym culture right now, is just like on social media, people are pushing, this is what you need to do to burn fat, lose weight, do the 12, what is that treadmill thing? 12:30 something.
Oh, like the incline walk at like, 12 speed.
Yes. And it's
like
just funny
15
because
incline,
I'm like,
whatever.
whatever. Like, yes, of course you're
getting
getting movement. And so it's going to help. I don't know. It's just silly when people think like these exact numbers, or like, eat this amount of protein because it worked for me and you need to do that for you. Well, you don't know how much I weigh. Like there are so many factors into your personal journey that like, don't listen to just what one person online is telling you. Yeah. Listen to your doctor. Listen to people who like really know what they're talking about and try it out and see if it works for you.
But I can guarantee you that a lot of the time, like it's a part of how like the social media has portrayed like health and fitness, that it all looks the same for everyone, and that's not necessarily true. So obviously you can get information. I would just take it with like not a grain of salt, but just like have it handy. And if you have people that you follow who you trust and stuff, like 100% go for it. Like that's awesome that people do that. I mean, we post stuff about like our workouts, what we eat. Yeah. And there's definitely truth to what you should and should not, or you should limit eating, as well as like you should and shouldn't work out. Like for example, limiting processed foods and sugars is not subjective. Correct. Like everyone should do that. Right. And like in the same way of like correct form, like there is a correct way to do exercises. Yes. So we're not saying there's no absolute truths here. Correct. There definitely are. Yes. But when it comes to like all the extra stuff, like plans and supplements, and specifics, like very, very, very specific, I would say like be wary of those. If like only eat meat for 2 weeks, you'll lose 10 pounds. And it's like, wait, that's probably not going to be accurate for me. Exactly. Yeah. And then we're talking about like, like we said before, like the, eating a certain way, or different diets, like the optimal supplements, the optimal workout splits. And like another big thing right now is like HIIT workouts versus like strength training versus hybrid training. Like everybody says like this is the best way to build muscle, lose fat. Like, all these different things, and everyone is different, especially when it comes to food, because your body reacts so differently to someone else. So that's why it's important to, get blood tested, like figure out what works for you. I mean, for an example of this, grains. So for me, I'm not eating grains right now because I'm doing the animal-based diet just for a short period of time. And if you want to learn more about that, we have talked about it in our last podcast episode.
But for me, grains don't work.
But for you, grains don't work. I typically eat grains a couple times a week, but for you, they inflame you.
Right.
But it's like we're both healthy people. Yeah. Some people may say, oh, you should never eat grains, blah, 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 blah. Like, I eat grains and I'm perfectly fine. For her, it's an inflammatory for her.
And so I think it's really cool. Like, we are talking about social media and the sense of impact that it has on other people. But like, we post things, and I think most influencers and people who just want to post about general health and fitness are doing it from like a pure intention of, this is truly what worked for me. So maybe try it and see if it'll work for you. They're not saying like this is the only way to do it, because I think that they would be dumb to think that their way was the only way. Because exactly like you said, like if I was pushing content out there that was like, okay, grains are super inflammatory, don't eat them, blah, 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 then you would be like, wait, that's not accurate. Like, I can eat grains and I feel great on them and I feel fine. Yeah. So it really is just make it personal, make your own journey personal. Like, try what Justus tried, try what I tried, and then see what works best for you. Because you also want to find enjoyment. You don't want to be stuck on what one person said, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff too, sometimes what you see, people do have clickbait sometimes just to honestly get extra views of like, cut out this stuff completely. Yeah. It'll change your life forever. And it's like, obviously if you do some more research, they're probably inflating it just to get more views. But yes, there can be helpful people who like kind of, want to steer you in the right direction.
Right.
And definitely like look into those things, because there are definitely some very knowledgeable people out there.
Absolutely. So we don't want to discourage you guys from social media. It is great, but just
we use it. So
take comfort in knowing that not everything you see is going to work for you.
Yeah.
So the third thing, have a goal in mind. So once you start your journey, have a goal of, okay, I want to just have a healthier lifestyle in general, whatever that looks like for you. Have a goal of, okay, I want to lose 2 pounds. Okay, I want to gain 5 pounds of muscle. Okay, I want to pursue CrossFit because I've never tried it before. Okay, I really want to get 10K steps a day. Like, there are so many little goals that you can have for yourself. I want to have more lean muscle mass. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I want to have more lean muscle mass. There are just so many things that you can go towards. And like, maybe one year you're trying to bulk and then the next you're trying to cut. Like, it's just fun. I feel like people can get really bored with their health and fitness journey. And I just think that there's actually so much out there to experience and try with your body and like what it can do, different types of workouts, different types of foods.
Yeah, and it makes it so exciting. And I mean, like, even when I had moved to Dallas, like, I just come fresh off of playing football. So I was like, I want to weightlift. So all I wanted to do was weightlift. Like, I'm never running again. I'm never conditioning again. All I wanted to do was weightlift. So I weightlifted, strength training for like a year. And it was a fun time and stuff. But then I started to transition because I got a little bit bored. And now I'm moving more into running. I started running and I'm challenging myself to not only like run a faster pace, but also more distance. And then we started getting into circuit training and more so, like the VO2 max, like really pushing ourselves. We signed up for High Rocks, or I signed up for High Rocks.
I was going to say, I have a wedding.
She has a wedding, but I signed up for High Rocks, and, pushing yourself to do these different things and seeing that's an exciting way, and having a goal and honestly, the small goals are the things that kind of help push you to the bigger goals, because when you reach those small goals, you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Yeah. What's the next one? What's the next one? What's the next one? So you keep pushing yourself and you keep achieving these goals. Yeah. And then ultimately you look back and you're like, wow, look how far I've come. So having a goal is super, super important. And so if it seems overwhelming to you to make a big goal, just start small. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And the fourth?
So the fourth point is find people with similar goals and lifestyles as you. So we're very fortunate, and I know we've expressed this a lot, we're very fortunate to have people in our life, both here in Dallas and, at home, who like support what we do. And our friends here, they're the type of people who will always jump in and like do stuff with us when it comes to like health and fitness, or they're the ones who always like bring us along. So we've seen firsthand how much better it is to do it with people than doing it by yourself, even if it's just us two, like, the Whole30 or the animal-based diet. Doing a diet together is so much easier than when you're doing it alone, because you can hold each other accountable. Right. And
you just push each other. Like, especially on the Whole30, I'd be like, Justus, I'm craving chocolate like so much. And he's like, you got this. Like, you really wanted to do this. And he reminds me of my goal and like why I'm doing it. And like Justus said, like writing down those goals really helps you stay on track. Not to say you can fall off track sometimes, but I agree with you. Like, I just think that finding people that have similar drives and goals and want to experience new things helps so much, like to really personalize your fitness journey and your wellness journey.
Yeah, so much. And even, you know, being on the animal-based diet, like the other day, our friends, like we had gone over to their house. We did a circuit that morning, and then like we came back over, we grilled steaks and burgers and fruit, and then we hit another workout afterwards, like that.
And then we played pickleball.
So like those are the types of things that like I'm talking about, where, you know, you have other people who are doing those things with you, so you don't feel as, you know, it doesn't feel like a burden, and it feels more exciting. It feels more fun. The process is more fun.
Yes.
Everybody wants the outcome. Everybody wants to look a certain way afterwards. Everybody wants the muscle. Everybody wants to lose the fat, but the process can be draining and tiring. But, you know, if you have people to walk it with you and hold you accountable and help you, then you'll go so much farther. So whether or not it's like a family member, if it's a, you know, brother or sister, if it's a
friend,
spouse, if it's a spouse, if it's a neighbor,
someone
if
in a community group,
teammate, anybody, have somebody in your life that can push you and help you, because it'll take you a lot further than what you can do by yourself.
And I think with that being said, like it can be intimidating to find new friends, and it can be scary to like put yourself out there and be like, okay, I really want to do this really hard thing. Can someone do it with me? Or like, I want to sign up for High Rocks. Will someone do it with me? And I just encourage you, honestly, if that is the life that you want for yourself, or you want to push yourself, like grab your best friend and like just tell them, like, I know you probably don't get this, but like, please try it with me, because it's something I really want to do for myself. Or another avenue you could go down would be to go join like a studio or a gym and try to meet people through that, because those people are there, like they have a story too. Maybe they want to be pushed, and it's perfect that you join the gym because y'all can do it together. Like, don't roll your eyes at us saying like have community, because we understand that it's hard to find community. We prayed for this community for about a year, if not more or less, and like it's still happening, and it's still been a huge blessing. But like truthfully, it's been so much more fun working out with a group of people.
Yeah,
so I love it. I love it. Final thing.
Yeah. So the final point that we would tell ourselves in the beginning of our health and fitness journey is to give yourself grace. I think this is, you know, with health and fitness, it can be very easy to be militant about your diet. You can be militant about the workouts that you do, but ultimately eating bad once isn't going to kill you.
Correct.
Ultimately missing a workout once isn't going to kill you. So you need to figure out, you know, what is that balance of you know, pushing yourself, but also giving yourself grace at the same time. Yeah.
I think this is really cool. It kind of goes back to our 80-20 thing that we just live by. And basically with 80-20, like we eat super healthy during the week, and then on the weekends, like sometimes we let loose with a couple meals, and just like not allowing yourself to feel guilty. I think that is one of the hardest things people struggle with so much, of just like, oh, I didn't work out today, I'm guilty. Okay, it's fine. Wake up tomorrow and work out if you really want to do it. Don't do it because you are forcing yourself. Do it because you get to. Do it because your body allows you to. Do it because you want to be healthier, you want to reach this goal. Like, just have grace for yourself. I think that there's a bug that just flew in my face. I think that a lot of people are really hard on themselves, like Justus said, and it's just not that big of a deal. Like, truthfully, if you want something, like, get a partner, try to get them to help you through it, like maintain this goal, get to this goal, and reach the goal. And I think that it's very doable. So those are the 5 things. Yeah.
Ultimately, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So give yourself grace and create a healthy lifestyle that you can sustain and that will bring you much further than something that, you know, you kind of hate, because then it's not fun and you're not enjoying it. Right. So
to run through these really quick. First one, health is simple. Second one, the health and fitness journey is personal, so don't compare. The third one, have a goal. Write it down. Keep it in front of you so you can see it often. The fourth one, try to find one person or a group of people who can kind of come along with you and live this life with you. And then the fifth thing is give yourself grace.
Well, great. Well, thank you guys for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and kind of pulled something from it. As always, we will see you next time.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.